Happy Monday. It's Yesenia and Sam.
And in this episode, we're going to talk about surviving the Arctic blast, a couple of announcements that were made in the community from last week, and things that are coming up in this week.
And this is ONT Now. Hey, Sam.
Hi.
How was your week?
Good. I mean, I know it was more than a week ago, but I'm still recovering from that blast of cold.
Well, you know what I think it is that little break that we had in the middle.
Yeah.
It actually it's like, okay, it's getting nicer, and then it got cold again.
Yeah.
And it felt even colder.
Well, if you think about it, you take into the account how much the wind chill was, right? The negative,
True.
we got, it's to like negative 40. And then within 5 days, we're at 50 degrees or something. This is like 100-degree swing. Machines and streets and people, let alone people, weren't made to work in those kinds of swings, right? So,
yeah.
You know what? I am glad, though, that the car that I own actually started. I mean, I had to go to work. I mean, I didn't have to go to work. As a matter of fact, it was kind of like I felt like some pressure to go to work. I don't know what you felt like. But, I remember walking in, okay, and thinking like, okay, this is not the Manhattan Project. We're not curing cancer. Why am I here on a negative 20-degree day? But you know what, thinking about it, looking back at it now, I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm from Chicago, man. I didn't let that weather. That's one thing about us, right? We knock it off, we wipe the snow off, and we get up and we go.
Pretty much, and that's how it was with us.
Did you go to work?
I did go to work. I work in an industrial company, so it's our plant was closed because obviously the machines can't work in that environment. It was too cold for the machines. But my boss told us, well, you work inside, so it's really just the walk from the car to the side. It's not like you take the train. Okay, well, thanks.
That's how I felt at first too, right? It was like the whole city of Chicago is taking off, but you're coming to work, right? And I was like, yeah, I guess I am.
Pretty much, that's what they told us. Like, well, we can't force you to be at work, but you're welcome to take a sick day.
So anybody actually want to talk about your experiences, we'd like to hear them in the comments. Yes. I'm sure everybody out there dealt with something. I mean, it was serious.
And realistically, I know we're just goofing around about it, but I mean, I know that there were people out there, many people that lost their lives, or people that, their homes were just too cold for them and
pipes burst, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, we're dealing with that now. Actually, my uncle's ranch, they just had their pipes busted in their ranch, and we had a problem in Hegwish with our property in Hegwish that our pipes busted. So it was a problem, and I hope everybody was okay. Just let us know how your experience was and how you dealt with it, or even funny videos if you want to send us.
Right. Yeah. Anything. Did you try to do the boiling water thing? I mean, it's terrible hearing the stories about how many people actually had to go to the hospital because they burnt themselves.
I know, come on, people.
But you know what? We survived it, right? I mean, those images of the train tracks on fire.
And surprisingly, like I said, it felt colder yesterday or Friday to me. My windows wouldn't go down. Right. My door was actually a little stuck, when I was trying to open the door.
The other day, my windows froze inside. I had to grab my scraper. I don't know. I scraped the inside of my window. I don't know where that came from. And then, did you see did anybody else get to see with your own eyes the lake boiling?
That was so crazy. That was crazy.
But you know what? The car worked, and so that I'm glad.
And you do have a newer car than me,
right? And I'll admit I drive a Camry. It's a Japanese car. But speaking of cars and speaking of the factory that we have locally, right? We have a Ford plant here.
Yes.
So the community, you may have heard that there was a big announcement that the Ford plant is actually investing a lot of money in the local plant here.
Yes.
There were numbers, about $4 billion I saw, but I think locally it's about $1 billion that they're planning on doing. In particular, I think the employees there are going to be happy about. They're planning on spending about $40 million. It says to improve the work experience. Mm-hmm. Working in a factory has to be demanding. So what they're going to be able to do there, I don't know. But I'm sure that employees of the factory are going to be happy about that. Saying new break areas, new cafeterias, new lighting. So that's a good thing. Now, the one thing though, like in your experience, you're right. You have experience in City Hall and actually in an alderman's office. They're saying that there should be about 500 additional jobs, and then the job claim and how many years actually building the new facilities or whatever they're talking about doing. That's a different number, but. How confident are you that these jobs are actually going to be in the community? Is there anything that we can do, or an alderman's office can do?
Oh, for sure. There are steps that the aldermanic office or elected officials can do to kind of gear the jobs to the community. And it's one of the things that we would do is for sure we would do intakes in our community and make sure that it was 60617 residents or 60633 residents that were applying. And they did get preference when it came to these positions. And a lot of people in the community did get hired. The problem is that a lot of these jobs have high turnovers. They're not positions. They're demanding. Many people that I know worked in those positions, and yeah, you're standing for long periods of time. These are factory jobs, so they're very high demanding, and if you can't handle it, this is the reason why they have high turnovers, and they eventually start hiring outside. What I want to know is all these positions where they're making these developments is those jobs, those union jobs, are those going to be as well? The ones that are building it, are they in the community? Right. Because those should be as well. And I'm all for them being union jobs and everything, but we have union workers here in the community as well, and we need to be making sure that our people in our neighborhood and our 10th ward are getting those jobs as well, those high paying jobs, right? Not just the minimum wage positions. Sure. That and you have in the factory.
Maybe if we can reach out to them, or if somebody has more detailed information on what these jobs are going to be broken up. How many are administrative? How many are actually going to be the higher paying jobs?
Exactly.
What's the physical demand? And then if there is some kind of system that's actually pre-qualifying people for the jobs, I think that would be important too, right? Exactly. You can find out if you're qualified for this job.
Exactly. What the qualifications are and what you need to qualify. And make sure that we have programs in place to be able to get these people qualified for these positions, because we want to make sure that our people are just as qualified for these jobs. So let us know what they need to have to be pre-qualified, and have programs in place to be able to get these people qualified.
And actually, any information that you have, you can email us at info@ontnews.com, and you can call our local number at 773-272-9133.
There's another project going on, the North Point development, which is actually,
where is
so this is going to be in the Old Republic Steel, along Avenue. Also, it's like on between 117th and 122nd in Burley. So basically, this is supposed to be bringing
Torrance. Like you're driving down Torrance, is that the land?
If you're driving down Torrance, it's actually east of Torrance.
Well, I guess it depends on what direction you're going in.
No, because
across from Wolf Lake, right?
Yes.
Okay, all of that land.
You're talking about Avenue then, not Torrance. You meant to say.
Yes.
I think you were talking about Avenue, maybe not Torrance.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes.
So I live in this community, and I still don't remember what the street names are. That's a mistake of mine.
That's no big. So it's $164 million in an industrial complex, and this is supposed to be bringing 2,000 plus jobs. And again, our elected officials are saying that they're going to push for local jobs, obviously, but we want to make sure, we want to know how this is going to be, what's going to be the process. How are you going to ensure that these jobs are going to go into our community? And again, we don't want to hear just the minimum wage jobs. Right. We want those high paying jobs. We deserve a piece of every single position, and we have people in this community that are qualified for those jobs. So what is that going to be like? What is going to be the process? How is the intake going to take place? And again, how are we going to make sure that we know what the qualifications are to be able to know that our community is qualified, and make sure that they're qualified for those positions?
So basically, these two subjects, I think we're going to stay on top of.
Yes, for sure.
So we're going to keep talking about it as we find out information. If there's programs that are going to be training individuals or how you can position yourself to be ready for the job, then as any information that we find, we'll be sharing with regularity. We'll kind of touch base on that, being that we're going to be more frequent with our podcast or whatever we're calling these.
And of course, obviously, we're hearing these announcements now because what's coming up?
The elections.
Exactly.
It seems that, I don't want to think, I know that there are some that actually don't do anything until election time. It's terrible that it seems like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? No matter who you are, even if you're in support of the current administration, it does seem like a lot of news is coming out of there all of a sudden.
A lot of news and a lot of construction and it's all coming out in the last 2-3 months.
Right.
Which is fine. I mean, you know what? I hope that this continues on with whoever wins.
Yeah.
And we're gonna make them accountable and make sure that these projects are taking place and moving forward, making sure that they're keeping their word and keeping their promises to what they're saying.
Right.
That they're gonna be pushing for community people getting these jobs. Because realistically, I mean, even just in certain in the incumbent's office.
A lot of
people in her own office aren't even from the community. So we just want to make sure that they really are going for people in our community.
And just to be clear, remember that election day is February 26th.
Yes.
Right? It's Tuesday, February 26th.
Yes. But
the mayor election is up and our aldermanic elections are up.
But don't wait till February 26th to
Right,
vote,
you don't have
because
to wait.
guess what? Early voting started today. Today. Get out to vote.
It's at the Eastside
Eastside
Library.
Vodac Library, but you can actually vote at any of the locations for early voting. You don't have to vote in your early voting location.
Oh, so it's not limited. You can go to any
It's not
early
limited.
voting.
So you can go anywhere in an early voting location. So you can go downtown, 69 West Washington, or most of the libraries. Usually they're in libraries, but I don't want to say it's every library. It's not.
I'm
so
sure there's
ours,
a link to that information.
but
You
each
can
ward
put that.
should have a location. So ours is in the Eastside Vodac Library on, what is it? What's the address? It's on East 106th Street. I'll give you the address now. It is 3710 East 106th Street. Early voting is Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sundays, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So you have no excuse not to vote.
Just have your ID ready. I do think that they verify picture IDs, right?
You need some kind of verification of who you are. I don't think it has to be a picture ID, but it does some kind of verification. Take your voter's card if you have your voter's card. Yeah. But please get out and vote. It is very important. I don't care who you're voting for. I don't care if you're for one person or the other. Do your homework though. Make sure you do your homework. Make sure you're researching. Get out to vote. Every single vote counts. And I will tell you this. I mean, this is what the elected officials on state and city levels look at when they're giving out money and funding, and they will look at those numbers and say who votes. And if our numbers are not coming out from our area, they will not pay attention to us, and that's exactly what's been happening. Right. They do not know we exist, and we need to make sure they know that we are here.
Yes, we do. I know the voting numbers were pretty good with the primaries that we had recently.
Yes,
we had an increase in all locations. So just keep it up, people, because it's important. And I think a lot of people are kind of fed up with what's going on, and your voice needs to be heard.
Now, the only day that you may not be able to vote is probably Thursday, because what's up Thursday?
Well, Thursday is, if Monday's the 11th, Thursday's the 14th.
Nothing special at all, right?
Yeah, Valentine's Day. Okay, everybody. So now, are you in a relationship to where, for whatever reason, maybe you don't plan enough nice things, fun things, buy flowers not on the 14th? Well, or are you one of those people who kind of like, so we do a lot of those things, right?
You guys do, because I follow you guys a lot, and they're the cutest couple. They Natalie is
for her, nobody would know anything that we're doing.
But they go out, and that's something that I tell my husband all the time. Like, I want to go to I love Broadway, I love musicals, I love plays, I love theater. My husband is not into that at all. So I have to plan it and actually let's go. This is where we're going today for him to do it. But I would love for him to just plan one day, babe, let's go to freaking, I don't know, whatever, any play, whatever. Just take me somewhere.
Yeah, there's a lot of great things. I mean, so what do you do? What do you like to do?
Are you like a any day flower person?
Yeah, as a matter of fact.
Are you? Just because?
Just because.
That's awesome. See?
I buy flowers
I'm a just because kind of
But
girl.
I like flowers, too. I like flowers. I like plants.
Yeah.
So
See,
it's
I do
one of those
too.
things where I buy them. It's like, I love to look at them, but...
I mean, I know they die, but they smell good.
Yeah.
And they're nice to look at.
Sometimes I've actually bought flowers, and Natalie will tell you this. Flowers or plants, especially at some of the grocery stores, because you can tell it's wilting only because nobody's watered it.
Aww,
so I like save them at least.
That is cute. That's a really cute thought.
It'll die later, but with some
care.
Kind
of life, right?
Yeah, some care and love I've done. But I mean, so did you know? Check this out. That Valentine's Day actually is responsible for about almost $20 billion in just expenditures. I'm talking about dinners, candies, flowers. It says that the average person spends about $140. Okay.
Wait a minute.
Now I don't know when I've ever spent $140. So
I was gonna buy my husband a card, have the kid sign it.
Right. You know, get for $1.
Put his favorite candy in a bag. I mean, he could buy me a bag of Flamin' Hots and limes and tahini, and I'll be good. You know.
Right. You know what's the best? If for whatever reason, you're not with your significant other on Valentine's Day, but let's say, because it's Thursday, right? Let's say you don't see your boyfriend or girlfriend until Saturday. And you can take advantage of all those half-price Valentine's Day
you
candy
can.
because as soon as the Thursday's over, all the chocolates mark 50% off. So I've actually taken advantage of that before.
Well,
where I
yeah.
got stuff on a discount.
So do I. I do that too. And then usually like that's the candy
Just
that
because it's red.
that's in the Easter baskets. Is the
Exactly.
old either Halloween candy or the old Valentine's Day
Right.
candle. You can save a lot of money like that.
So, I mean, if you want to share some of your Valentine's Day stories or whatever, give us a call.
Tell us your romantic dates and give us some ideas.
Yeah, so remember, it's
I've been married for a while
773-272.
now, so I need some ideas.
Yeah, 773-272-9133 and info@ontnow.com.
Yes.
That's our email. So,
Yeah.
well, it was
Great.
fun. We're gonna do
Yeah.
this a little bit more frequently.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for watching again.
Thank you for joining. This is your weekly update.
This is ONT Now.
Here we go again.